This week on CGaNews, a beautiful community center by our Viz Pro of the Week winner, a new live Keeping It Realistic review with a very special guest, a practical workflow to bring AI people and animation into your renders, why you really should stop using Gamma 2.2 and switch to ACES, and a sharp take on AI copyright, plus multiple Archviz tutorials from the same author. Welcome back to CGaNews, your weekly roundup of all things Archviz, straight from cgarchitect.com. Before we start, remember, if you like what we do here, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a bit. Let's get into it. First up, Viz Pro of the Week. Congratulations to Strania Drazic for winning this week's Viz Pro of the Week on CGArchitect.com. Strania's images for a community center are a great example of how modern architecture can stand out without overpowering its context. The project combines clean lines and bold forms with a careful sense of scale, so the building feels inviting instead of imposing. If you want to see all the images in detail, head over to CGArchitect.com, and don't forget, you can also submit your own work for a chance to be featured as Viz Pro of the Week. Next on Chaos Campus, it's time for another episode of Keeping It Realistic with Teodor Vladov. After two special editions, the show is back to its original format, a live community-driven review session. This time, Teo is joined by guest co-reviewer Ulfat Ktaifan, a Palestinian artist known for her warm presence and emotionally rich visual storytelling. They start with Ulfat sharing her creative journey, then dive into a selection of thematic works submitted by the community. The episode wraps up with a behind-the-scenes look at one of Ulfat's commercial projects and an extended Q&A that clearly resonated with the audience. If you enjoy thoughtful critique and honest feedback on real projects, this one is worth adding to your watchlist. Now moving on to AI workflows. Ida Ostrovska from render.camp shared a very practical step-by-step guide on how to add AI-generated people to your static Archviz renders and push things further by turning those still images into simple animations. The focus here is workflow, how to integrate AI people in a way that feels coherent with your lighting, perspective, and storytelling, instead of just sticking characters into the frame. Ira also shows how to quickly animate these scenes so you can get more dynamic content for presentations and social media without rebuilding everything in full 3D. If you're curious about using AI as a production tool instead of just a toy, this tutorial is a very solid starting point. If your renders still look a bit flat, overly harsh, or washed out, the problem might not be your modeling or your HDRI, but your color workflow. In a new video, AJAM Studio explains why it's time to move away from the old Gamma 2.2 approach and adopt ACES, Academy Color Encoding System, inside tools like 3ds Max and V-Ray. The video breaks down how ACES changes the way light behaves in your renders, giving you smoother highlights, better roll-off in bright areas, richer reflections, and an overall more photographic feel. It's not about a magic button, it's a more consistent system for handling color and dynamic range from start to finish. If you've been struggling to get that real camera look, this is definitely worth a deep dive. Now, for something a bit more controversial, AI copyright. On CG Architect, Bilal Mansouri published an article that goes straight to the point about how AI tools are being trained and what that means for artists. He looks at models like Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, and even tools like ChatGPT and discusses how companies train on millions of images, including artwork from creators. What people mean when they talk about AI theft, where the current copyright law stands in relation to these tools. The text isn't alarmist, but it doesn't sugarcoat things either. If you're using AI in your workflow or just worried about how your work might be used to train models, this is essential reading. And Vladov didn't stop at one article. He also released a series of Archviz tutorials covering different parts of the production pipeline, including lighting and animation. Among the highlights, how to make breaking and scattering furniture animation in Tyflow, how to create moody evening lighting in 3ds Max and V-Ray, and how to create stunning renders with lighting Gobos in 3ds Max. These tutorials range from technical setups to pure atmosphere and mood. If you are looking to push your animations, lighting setups, or just collect some new tricks for your toolbox, there's a lot to explore in this series. Finally, as always, we close with our top 10 best of the week images selected from user submissions on CGArchitect.com. That's it for this week's CGaNews. If you enjoyed this recap, like the video so more artists can find it, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss future episodes. And join our community on Discord and social channels to share your projects, ask questions, and stay in the loop. Visit CGArchitect.com to read the full articles, watch the videos, and check all the featured projects. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week on the next CGaNews.